How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Count Dankula. Now, if you don't know who he is, you see this headline on the screen before you. We're going to get to the cute little dog here on my left in just a moment, but the headline says, why alt-right vloggers are in Scotland to defend a Nazi dog. That's right. Vice Media and other news outlets, I may add, and also the United Kingdom, thinks that this dog, this animal, is a Nazi. And you see the subhead here. Last year, a Scottish man, Count Dankula, a YouTuber, taught his dog to Sieg Heil, that's the Nazi salute, the speeches of Hitler. The story only gets weirder from there. Okay, now let's trigger warning. If you get offended at the Sieg Heil, if you get offended at cute little dogs doing naughty things, then I suggest you don't go any further. That is the dog that has a man about to go to jail. He faces up to 1 year in jail in the UK for training a dog to Sieg Heil as part of a joke. Okay, so this dog is a Nazi. This dog somehow has the brain capacity of Albert Einstein. He can make all kind of decisions. He can go out and get a job. He can get married. He can drive a big rig, 18-wheeler, whatever. He can fly a plane, the whole 9 yards. I saw him traveling on a plane by himself. I saw him in the cockpit, pushing the buttons and all of that. Okay, he is far above and beyond any kind of human influence. He could do whatever he wants on his own. So then, therefore, that makes him a Nazi. Okay. I mean, come on. Mark Meechan is not very funny. He is a, quote, YouTube comedian, which is a bit like being a Facebook philosopher or a Twitter politician. He's also in some hot water with the Scottish judiciary system. And before we go any further, Vice News, Vice Media, they have their own Me Too kerfuffle going on right now. And I'll try to link to that in the description box below. So these people over here trying to stand on the pillar of virtue may not be so free from sin as they may make you believe. But I digress. The 30-year-old posted a video in April of 2016 in which he taught his girlfriend's pug, Buddha, how to do a Sieg Heil, raising his little paw in honor of the Führer, the pro-pogrom pooch. What is the dog going to be pro of anything? The dog doesn't know what's going on. The dog's just probably raising the paw, get a Scooby snack or something like that. He has no, I mean, come on. Let's just be serious. The dog does not know what's going on. The pro-pogrom pooch also responded to cries of, quote, gas the Jews, unquote, and was filmed watching videos of Hitler's speeches. It was all part of Meechan's hilarious ploy to get Buddha to embody the least cute thing he could think of, because he claims his girlfriend, Suzanne Kelly, 29, fawns over the creature and constantly talks about how sweet and lovely it is. Now, Meechan is in court. He is being accused of perpetrating an anti-Semitic hate crime and could get up to a year in prison. Now, my question is, what is the hate crime? The dog doing a Sieg Heil? And really, can you even consider that to be a Sieg Heil? Raising one paw, is that a Sieg Heil? I mean, it's not a human being. It's not standing up. It's on all fours. Like if you were to see a human being on all fours and then raise their arm up, would that still be a Sieg Heil? Don't you have to be like standing at attention and then do it? Isn't it like a full body kind of pose with your arm being the last step? I'm not really sure, but I don't think that a dog raising his paw could qualify as a Sieg Heil. And by doing that, is that a hate crime in itself? I mean, that's crazy. Back to the article. In fact, he's been in court for over a year now. The first update for his case uploaded to his YouTube channel a couple of months ago after the original video came out. The furor, I guess no pun intended here, has been covered by all your favorite right-wing media guys, Alex Jones, Paul Joseph Watson, and even Canadian far-right real doll, Lauren Southern. Wow, they call her a real doll. Vice is nasty. But I guess the real doll thing is like, you know, one of those dolls that men have that it's like an inanimate object, a sex doll, basically, who is braving the bleak climes of North Lancashire to report on the perceived ridiculousness of the situation. It is ridiculous. I mean, how can it not be? I guess there's a video right there. I'm not going to play that. But, of course, this article will be in the description box below. And you know, it is ridiculous. It's ridiculous for a myriad of reasons. Should some unfunny nerd be placed in one of the perennially overcrowded Scottish prisons for doing some meme stuff? No, probably not. Ain't no probably. It shouldn't be in jail, because what is the actual crime? Did somebody get hurt? Did anybody get harmed as a result of this dog doing the so-called sick howl? Did anybody get hurt as a result of that? Come on. This is really just out of control. In the grand scheme of things, it's not that important. Okay, I'm glad that they acknowledge that. Still, teaching a dog to respond to phrases like gas the Jews isn't banter, no matter how much you and your 4chan warped edgelord brain would like to think it is. People are obviously upset about it. YouTube could have just deleted the video and we could have all gone with our lives. But now it's a thing, and when something becomes a thing, the opinions come out, and there's no more grading opinion than the right-wing free speech. You can't take a joke crew. Okay, that's the guy right there, Count Dankula, if I'm not mistaken. A bunch of fruits and veggies behind him. I'm not really sure what's happening here. Is that him? That might not be him, actually. Mark Meechan has a lot of tattoos. Among them are the W, A, S, and D keys. Used to control video game characters. I'm not really sure where they got that description from. The WASD keys on your keyboard, that's what you use to move in games. Okay. That's just like, that's your movement keys, basically. Matter of fact, I have those highlighted on my keyboard right here. I don't know if you can see it. You see the gray keys right there? Those are the W, A, S, and D keys. I'm a gamer, PC gamer. And you can subscribe to ABL Gaming through the link below, but I'm gonna move on. So you got a computer gamer who did a prank on his girlfriend by making his dog do the so-called sick howl. You want to lock him up, really? Come on. A character from the game Limbo, the logo of EVE Online, a space game, and the character from No Face from Studio Ghibli film, Spirited Away. In one video, he sports an Adventure Time t-shirt, a show on Cartoon Network. That's the thing about these guys. These fervent nationalists, supporters of free speech, i.e. people who want to be allowed to say the N-word and pretty much only that. I'm going to stop right here for a moment. The alt-right guys, the ones that I know, are much more than that. You know, some people do get into the N-word situation, but most of them just want to be able to do things like this, make a joke without being sent to the penitentiary, okay? It ain't about the N-word and stuff like that. They want to be able to do harmless things and not be prosecuted or, you know, be burned at the stake for it. If they say a video game has too much SJW stuff in it, then they don't want to get hung for that. If they say that a certain video game character, they like how the character looks, they like their butt or something like that, they don't want to get called a pig and all kind of stuff. They just want to be able to live life as normal human beings and not be villainized for it. Just from the guys that I know that happen to be affiliated with that movement. But back to the article. I guess they want to be able to be against anti-feminism and the rest. They're all in arrested development. I mean, who are you to say that? That's your personal opinion about these guys. Just because you think that their opinions are not so-called progressive enough does not mean that they're actually in arrested development. It just may mean that they think differently than you. What's wrong with having a different point of view than someone else? A large aspect of the net rights, okay, is it alt-right, net right? We're making up words as we go along here, I see. A large aspect of the net right's constant prattling is their assertion that men, or at least the notion of quote unquote men, I guess that's not really a thing anymore. In the video I have up about Genuine not wanting to kiss a transgender woman, I guess you're talking about that, okay? Maybe saying that a man has to be born with, you know, the proper equipment is somehow wrong think these days. But back to the article, or at least the notion of men, masculinity is dead or dying. No one wears suits anymore. You don't have Gregory Peck frowning at things. Everyone's a soy boy. Shout out to Paul Joseph Watson for that video. Hilarious. You can see it in Richard Spencer and his harem of Lost Boys, everyday Mad Men cosplay, complete with tumblers of bourbon or other assorted brown liquors. But they do that with cartoon frogs on their shirts, worn as badges or emblazoned on flags. Okay, so I guess we're just trying to dismantle the alt-right. My thing is this. If the alt-right is so unimportant, if they're so weak, if they're so little of a threat, then why spend so much time talking about them? Why try to send this guy to jail if they're just, you know, like man, children and stuff like that? What harm do they actually pose to society if that's the case? I'm not really sure if this person is trying to convince us of his opinion about the alt-right or himself. Mark Meechan is another symptom of this juddering hypocrisy. His YouTube page is filled to the brim with all the same awful opinions about feminism, Trump, politics, Islam, and political correctness delivered as ever through the scope of a teenage boy with the gay jokes, cancer jokes, with a general willful misunderstanding and simplification of pretty much everything. That's your opinion, bro. Just like he has his opinion, you have your opinion. What makes your opinion superior to his? It's nobody's opinion is superior. You have yours and he has his. See, I'm the kind of person, I don't want to deviate too much from this article. We're about to wrap up here in a moment, so y'all bear with me. But I'm the kind of person that says that nobody's opinion should be just jettisoned from the public discourse, right? I can have my opinion and put it out there. We could talk about it. You can agree, disagree, or whatever. And the same thing on the other side. Put every opinion out there, and then the people as a whole will be able to decide what makes sense and what doesn't make sense. That's how it should be. It should be this thing where we have to decide, okay, this person is right and nobody else can be right or whatever. Meechan, or Count Dankula as he's known, is not a dangerous criminal. He's just a lame guy with an almost popping YouTube channel who, like all children, thinks offensive equals funny 100% of the time. The cartoon watching right-wing gamers of the earth should not be given so much airtime to make memes of themselves, which is the only thing they truly desire. And the only style of mucky attention that will ever sate their jejune, lust for guffawing attention from other weak-armed, cake-praising, snot-nosed losers. Okie dokie. That'd be a wrap for that article. I mean, come on. This person is just really has a lot of hate in their heart. Let's get a good shot of this, you know, horrible dog, Buddha, doing a so-called sick howl. I mean, Vice, you guys are a mess. This article is all over the place. First, you want to act like this guy's just a nothing. He's just a loser. He's just a gamer and all this and that. He's a nobody. But I mean, you're on one hand, you're trying to say how little the alt-right or anybody that you can affiliate with the alt-right, anybody that you may lump in with the so-called alt-right is somehow like harmless and really a weak person, somebody that doesn't even deserve any kind of airtime, just a pitiful excuse for a human being. But then at the same time, you want to stress like you want to kind of support the decision to send him to jail. Like you say, oh, no, he shouldn't be going to jail. There's that and the third. But at the same time, you're not really trying to campaign against them. You're trying to say how bad of a person they are. If you were a defense lawyer trying to represent this guy, you wouldn't be doing a good job. I'd fire you as my lawyer. If you were a public defender, I might sue you for jeopardizing my case. So don't act like you're trying to say that you shouldn't be in jail while at the same time defaming the character. That's not how that goes. You shouldn't be defaming your client when you're trying to defend them. Not saying you're trying to be a lawyer. I'm just making the comparison there. If you were trying to be somebody's lawyer and saying that they shouldn't be in jail, the way to go about it would not be to say how bad of a person they are. But to get to my personal opinion about this, you already pretty much know where I stand based upon how I was reading this article. This is really ridiculous. A dog cannot be racist. A dog does not understand human beings in that way. They do understand certain things. Dogs are not just totally brainless creatures, but come on, do you think dogs are going to be able to understand the complexities of so-called racism? Do you think a dog's going to understand that doing the sit howl is a bad thing? And my thing is this: if a human being does that on a YouTube channel, the sit howl, is that somehow a hate crime? Like if you say gas the Jews in the video, is that a hate crime? I don't understand. This is ridiculous. But you know what? This is what happens when political correctness runs amok, when you are living in a world where there's no real line of demarcation between people just being human beings and the state wanting to just control whatever you do. That's why I'm a guy that's all for the limited state, smaller government. So things like this won't happen, or they won't happen as much. But what do you think? Do you think that Count Dankula should be in the penitentiary or jail or whatever it is in Scotland or the UK because of the dog doing this? Is that what you really think? And if so, why? Please explain to me why. And, you know, the ad hominem attack on the guy is really irrelevant. What a person is as a human being shouldn't be a factor necessarily in this case. You may hate the person, but just really, do you think that they should be in jail? I mean, come on. Is this case stupid? How do you feel about the guy that wrote the article? This guy, Joe, that's his name, Joe Bish. I guess it's his real name. I'm not sure. It could be a pseudonym or whatever, or, you know, pen name. But how do you feel about him in the article? Do you think that the article was unfair towards not only Count Dankula, but also to guys who happen to game? I mean, I wasn't getting offended. I do game. Like I showed you my keyboard with the W, A, S, and D keys highlighted. And they also are like indented with grooves on it, so it makes it easier. I enjoy playing my games. That's advice for me. No pun intended. I'm not like some of these guys over at Vice that engage in sexual harassment, which has been documented, engaging in drugs, alcohol, and stuff like that. I'm a teetotaler. My vice is my gaming, and that's it. So what's wrong with that? It makes me a man child for enjoying gaming. I just wanted to put that out there as an aside. I'm not getting offended by it, but I'm just saying, why must these guys talk like this? Why must you engage in the ad homs? Are you that much of a person that has to prove to the world that you're not a racist to where you got to go through extremes like this to just totally toast the guy in an article for no other apparent reason? I have my opinion. You may have yours, but whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.